Hi, I'm Ria, and welcome to this reflection practice. This is a place to slow down, become a little more aware, and gently explore the questions that shape our lives. I believe every season of life asks something different of us. Sometimes it asks us to let go, sometimes it asks us to begin again, and sometimes it simply asks us to notice something we've been carrying for a long time. So before we begin, let's arrive here together. Take a slow breath in, and then let it go. And another deep breath in. And let it go. Notice your body. Relax your shoulders if you've been carrying too much. Notice the sounds around you. Notice your breathing. Notice yourself exactly as you are. Nothing to fix, nothing to earn. Just this moment. Today's reflection begins with a question. When did I learn that love meant giving? And I mean giving everything. So, after becoming a mother, I started noticing something about myself. Not just about motherhood, but about me. It wasn't the sleepless nights, or the diapers, or the bottles and the constant washing and cleaning. It was something quieter. I realized how difficult it was for me to receive. When people asked, "What do you need?" I honestly didn't even know how to answer. And it's not because I didn't need anything. I needed a lot, especially those early days. I needed sleep. I needed help. I needed someone to hold a baby for, a little bit so I can even use the bathroom or like take a shower, which didn't happen for days at times, seriously. I need someone to simply stay and be there. But asking felt uncomfortable, almost harder than continuing to do everything myself. And I've been wondering, where did I learn that? One of the books I've been reading about the history of motherhood, with this book in the Mothering the New Mother. For much of history, after a woman gave birth, she wasn't expected to recover alone. Care came to her automatically. Women from all parts of the world, they gathered. Meals they just appeared. Older women helped younger women. So the old moms helped the young moms. The expectation wasn't independence. It was interdependence. Now, history is never perfect, of course. Sometimes these traditions, they existed because postpartum women were actually considered ritually unclean, so they couldn't even be in society. Others, they reflected, genuine care for the person, for the woman. And both can be true. But over the last 100 years, especially as birth, became outside the home, became more into hospital, more medicalized, you can say definitely there's been a shift there. The care, it slowly became something we organized as a professional thing instead of something that naturally women just kind of do together, like as a group, like in a community, in a neighborhood, in a village. Today, at least in the Western world, a lot of women, we leave the hospital after, like say everything was fine within a day or two, and suddenly, boom, they're expected to feed a newborn, even if they've never done that before, recover physically from the birth, manage the household, cleaning, that's when the cleaning, the cooking, with little sleep, and then on top of that, maybe even going back to work, paying the bills, and somehow to do it all without asking for much, because we've been so used to that this way that it feels normal. But maybe it isn't. Maybe we've forgotten what support used to look like. We didn't have that kind of modeling. Like, it's been fractured. So that made me wonder if this wasn't only about motherhood. Maybe this pattern began much earlier. So I'm thinking about my own story. So growing up, I said this before, I'm the eldest in a Filipino family, eldest daughter. So here we go. Responsibility came early. Achievement was the way, it was the name of the game. Just didn't go without question. Working hard was another thing that let's just do it. It's simply just, that's just felt like the way life worked. And even in my profession, I became a physician assistant. So working in medicine, literally helping people through difficult times, solving problems, and staying calm during those problems for the person. So it's like personally and family, people counted on me. And over time, those weren't just things I did. They became the way that I understood myself, of course, right? Like, you keep doing the same thing over and over, that becomes kind of like your norm. So being the responsible one, being the dependable one, being the helper, the one who would do it, the caregiver, the one who keeps giving and giving and giving. It's like, okay, until what point, until what end? The one who figures it out. I mean, there is something definitely beautiful about generosity and having those qualities. Those kinds of things, of course, help me have more empathy, help me take care of patients. They help me at dark times to survive IVF. Through pregnancy after loss. Those type of things help me with a premature birth and weeks in the NICU, 63 days. Though that enduring pattern helped me with moments that I didn't think I could survive. And so at the same time, every strength has its own shadow. Mine was being that strong, believing that love, it had to be earned. That value came from how much I actually gave, how much I helped, like in all ways, from financial to emotional to doing to everything, how much I carried, how much I could do for the other person or the group. So when I finally became the one who definitely needed help, something inside me didn't know how to receive it. And it sounds kind of like, what? How can you not? But I don't know. And so around that same time, of course, being a new mom, some old family patterns started showing themselves again. This is how life is, and like cyclical spiral type of things. Not that anyone's trying to per se hurt me, but life transitions, they have this way of bringing old stories to the surface, right? So I noticed something that was painful. For years, I had believed that if I kept showing up, kept helping, kept being dependable, that maybe one day when I really needed support, people would naturally know how to show up for me, because that's the way I've been showing up for them. Sometimes they did, a lot of times they didn't, or they couldn't. Sometimes they didn't even realize I needed them. That realization hurt more than I expected. Not because I was keeping a score tally, but it revealed a hope I didn't even know I had been carrying. The more I reflected, the more I realized it's not about anyone. It's not about blaming anyone. Our parents, of course, were shaped by their own parents, and they were shaped by theirs, and so on and so forth. Someone learned survival. Someone learned silence. Someone learned sacrifice. Someone learned achievement. Without realizing it, those lessons get passed down. Not because people are bad, but because they're human. So maybe healing isn't learning how to give more. Maybe healing is learning how to receive help, to receive kindness, or even a compliment, to receive rest, and how about to receive love without feeling like we have to earn it first or do something. I'll be honest, this still feels a little uncomfortable for me to go ahead and just talk about this. But maybe it feels uncomfortable for you too. But perhaps that's exactly where the invitation is, in this discomfort. So before we finish today, I'd like to leave you with a few questions. Not questions you need to answer right now, just questions to carry with you. When did you first learn that love meant giving? What would it feel like to receive without apologizing? And if someone loved you exactly as you are today, without you proving anything, could you let yourself believe them? And as you leave today's reflection, I hope you remember something. Your worth has never depended on how much you give. You don't have to earn your place here. You don't have to earn rest, or kindness, or compassion. You already belong. Every one of us carries gifts the world has never seen in quite the same way. The way you are, the way that you see things, the way that you see the world, your creativity, the way that you see your compassion, the way of your own presence. Those things, they matter. And reflection isn't about becoming someone worthy. Of course not. I'm saying you're worthy already. It's about creating enough space to remember the worth. It's already been there the whole time. You just need to remember. And thank you for sharing this reflection practice with me. If these reflections resonate with you, I'd love for you to subscribe, of course, and join me for future conversations. And if you're looking for a quieter place to explore these questions with others, my founding reflection circle is now open. It's intentionally small. It will just be only 5 people, so we can really dive deep. And it's going to be a place where we slow down, and reflect together, and witness one another with honesty and compassion. You'll find more information in the description down below. And so until next time, take gentle care of yourself. And let's take one final slow breath together. So breathe in. And out. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next reflection. Bye for now.